titles. She began a reign at #1 that lasted almost without interruption for 209 weeks. The last 2 years of her reign at the top were tainted by media criticism. The Swiss Miss was winning titles, not majors. Her status was therefore questioned. Once she lost the #1 ranking, things got more difficult for Hingis. She had to work even harder to win matches. A physical breakdown was almost inevitable. Late in 2001, an ankle injury that required surgery forced her off the tour, and in May of this year, a second surgery was needed. Now Martina Hingis is back, next on ESPN2. Much cooler, less humid. The players will love this weather. Hi everybody, I'm Pam Shriver. 5 days until the U.S. Open starts, the last major of the year, and we are here with 6 shows this week. We want you here each and every show through Friday night's semifinals. The draw here is outstanding. They're down to the round of 16. It's led by Venus Williams at the top. She is the defending champion. She plays good young U.S. player Laura Granville. The matchup tonight on ESPN2 is Eva Maioli, former French Open winner, and Daniela Hantuchova, the rising star. Davenport has a head start on the bottom half of the draw. Hingis Stevenson, our feature match coming up, and Emily Mauresmo, the winner last week, is in the bottom half of the draw. And Mary Jo Fernandez, not always the week before a major do you have such a strong field, but here it's incredible.
It's an unbelievable field this week, Pam. Normally players like to take a little bit of break before a big tournament like the U.S. Open, get their bodies ready, but this week the players are looking to get match tough, particularly the ones that have been injured like Davenport and Hingis. They want that extra match, they want some more confidence, they want to fine-tune their game.
Well, we're so used to seeing Martina Hingis at the very top of women's tennis, but at the U.S. Open she's going to be seated #9. She has had such a difficult year.
Well, she's had a difficult year with injuries and also with her confidence against the top players. In the beginning of the year, she was trying to win another Australian Open. She's won 3, and everybody's been doubting whether she's ever going to win another major. But this match against Jennifer Capriati was hers to win. She was up a set and 4 love. She had 4 match points. It was all going her way until Jennifer Capriati started to storm back. Martina started to get very frustrated. The heat starting to get to her, and she was so disappointed this on match point as Jennifer Capriati wins her 3rd major in her career, and Hingis struggles. She did bounce back, wins Tokyo, but then she has an injury, is off the tour for 3 months. It comes back last week in Montreal. She won a couple matches. She looked relatively good in my opinion. She still needs to improve her serve. Jelena Dokic has been having an unbelievable summer, Pam.
Well, Jelena Dokic has now supplanted Martina Hingis in the ranking list. She's at about #5, and Hingis lost this match but gained some very valuable match experience. She's sort of similar to what Lindsay Davenport is going through, trying to get her game ready going into the U.S. Open. And you know, for Martina Hingis, it's kind of like she faces the same thing, all these big power players.
And that's what gives her trouble. And she even said in the 3 months that she's been out, the game has gotten faster. So I really think it's important for Martina Hingis to gamble a little bit more on her serve. She's got to take advantage of her great variety, her great hands, get to net, finish some points off quickly.
Well, Alexandra Stevenson, she's about 6 foot tall. She has a huge serve, a beautiful one-handed backhand, and she's had some great success, semifinals of Wimbledon, but a really up and down first part of her career.
Well, Stevenson is unpredictable. You never know what you're going to get, but this year she started finally to win some more matches. She does have a huge serve, a big forehand. Fitness is the key with Alexandra Stevenson. She's lost a lot of matches because she's been out of shape. She's gotten a little bit tired. The one she played against Martina Hingis earlier this year, she lost because she was really fatigued. So her fitness is there. Her mom says she's full of confidence. I hope to see an interesting match.
And Ray Ruffles, her coach from Australia, is here, and he's a great tactician. We're going to see how Alexandra Stevenson fares against Martina Hingis, former #1 in the world, someone who's so used to looking down at the rest of the players. She's trying to climb back towards the top. Can she do it? She needs a win against Alexandra Stevenson to keep this comeback coming along. Guess what? She's back! Hingis next on ESPN2. Could be either an injury timeout or need something from the locker room. Maybe a change of shoes going on here.
Well, back to Hingis. Even though she has struggled against the top players, she has been one of the most consistent players week in and week out. She's played 8 events this year. She's been to the finals, semis, only 2 quarters. She won 2 tournaments, Sydney and Tokyo, finals of Australia. So she beats the players she's supposed to. She just is having a tough time this year with the top players.
Ah, this isn't the best of ads. I see.
Well, smart. She has an extra pair in her bag. Did you always carry an extra pair along with you?
I only had one pair that was big enough.
She's prepared. Well, important game right now for Stevenson. So often you see the underdog after losing a tight set just kind of fizzle. It's important for her to get a good start.
You were watching last week, Andy Roddick had a similar problem. Tell you what, not a lot has gone Alexandra Stevenson's way the last 4 games, including that last ball that could have gone over. It's when you have to find a way to get your energy into a different place. You know, sometimes you have that negative feel, and don't you know what happens? Negative things on the court, and you just got to find a way to get more positive. Yeah, you need a spark sometimes to get it back, and look for that point perhaps to be the spark for Stevenson. You're watching round of 16 action from Pilot Pen Tennis Center at Yale University. Mary Jo Fernandez, Pam Shriver, along with you for the ride this week through the semifinals on Friday. A couple of live shows tomorrow, quarterfinal day.
Couple break points for Hingis. That was a better backhand. You can see that her intent was moving in, hitting it on the rise. I'd like to see a little bit more of that from Hingis.
Yep, you could hear the net cord from up here. Boy, since that set point, it looked like an ace that was called out. Stevenson has not won a game. Could be 5 straight to Hingis. Martina Hingis, 2-love, second set. Join us tonight for Stevenson serving. A round of 16 match, and tonight at 10 Pacific another one takes place. Hantuchova, 7th seed, taking on Eva Maioli, who won the tournament in Charleston earlier this year, the Family Circle.
Used to be in Hilton Head
for like 50 years, it seemed like. Oh, look at the athleticism of Stevenson as she goes low with a slice backhand and then high with the backhand overhead.
What an angle she creates, too, with the high one-handed backhand overhead. Not an easy shot.
Ooh, it's easy to rush the approach forehand for some reason. It's just not as easy a transition shot as the backhand approach, which we saw 2 points ago from Stevenson. 15-30, Hingis 2 points away from a win.
love that service action from Stevenson. So fluid. Not a lot can go wrong with that serve.
Another point built around a big first serve. So from 15-30 down, a couple of big serves, game point. That is the benefit of the big weapon. That's what Hingis does not have. Closer to the net, that volley could have gone over.
It was the perfect play from Stevenson. Had Hingis on the run, covered the right shot, the drop volley. But you're right, one step closer into the net would have made all the difference.
Kind of cut straight across instead of diagonally in, and now match point for Martina Hingis. Pleased to see her daughter through. It was a tight, straight set win for Hingis. She faced a set point in the first set, 7-5, 6-4.
Well, Hingis will be pleased to get through this match. The more matches she plays, the more confident she will feel. She didn't do anything great, but she hung in there, waited for her opportunities, and now she'll face the winner of Justine Enna, the 4th seed, or the Russian teenager Myskina in the quarterfinal. She's in a tough section. Davenport's there at the bottom. Might play Mauresmo.
Serve, we're all working well. She moved well. She looks eager. And with just a little bit higher level, she will have a very good chance to win the U.S. Open. That was on match point, and Davenport 6-2, 6-2 through to the final. And Mary Jo, really, Lindsay has got to be so happy with where she is so soon after coming back.
It's pretty amazing that Davenport, this is only her 4th tournament back. She's been in 2 semis. This is her 2nd final. She played unbelievable today, and yesterday, too, against Mauresmo. She's got to be feeling more confident. And for the average fan who's looking at her, they're probably like, I can't believe she had surgery in January. I think she's not going to be a huge contender at the U.S. Open.
Well, someone we know is going to be a contender at the U.S. Open is Venus Williams. She's won the last couple, and let's face it, she loves this time of year.
She loves the summer. She loves the hard courts. She grew up on the hard courts in California. And last year, of course, at the U.S. Open, she played that historic match against Serena, her little sister. The big sis still had the mental advantage. It was the first time 2 sisters had played in a major final. Of course, this year they played 2 more times with Serena winning at the French and Wimbledon. But the edge was on Venus's side last year in this big match. The stars were out.
This marked Venus Williams' fourth major. She's not won yet. Won one since Serena Williams took over the last two majors. This was just a few weeks ago against Jelena Dokic in the finals of the Acura Classic in Carlsbad, California. And again, it's that hard court summer season.
Well, she just likes the footing. Her serve has been on. She's improved her forehand. She's really committed to playing a full schedule. And I think now what we should look for is that she's going to try to come to net even more. I think that's going to be just icing on the cake if she can accomplish that feat.
Well, someone we've really enjoyed seeing throughout the year is Daniela Hantuchova. She's got a wonderful game, a good personality, and let's face it, she's about into the top 10 in the world now.
She's ranked 11 right now. She has so much talent, and we hadn't really seen her too much until the Australian Open in January, where she played Venus Williams early in the tournament. And I think Venus was very surprised to see the power from the 19-year-old, also the great hands at net. Hantuchova would make her big breakthrough a couple weeks later at Indian Wells, where she would take out Justine Henin along the way. That was her first big top 10 win. And then in the final against Martina Hingis, she just dominated with her power. She's got a big forehand. Her backhand's her best shot. She can hurt you with her serve. And it looked like she was so confident from the very first point, Pam.
The face of a person having their first big victory. This now a couple of months later against Monica Seles at the French Open.
And this is not Hantuchova's favorite surface. As she got to the round of 16, she would get to the quarters of Wimbledon. And then just last week in Montreal, she was taking on Barbara Shedd in the quarterfinals. It was a straight set victory for Hantuchova. She's had a few problems this year playing streaky tennis. Her coach, Nigel Sear, says she hasn't put 2 weeks like this back-to-back in a long time. And for her to win tonight, two things have to be working: her serve and her big backhand.
Well, it was an interesting match in Australia. 3 tough sets, 6-4 in the third. What's going to happen tonight in New Haven in the semifinals of the Pilot Pen live? We're going to find out right after this. Remember, Venus Williams, she has not lost here in New Haven the last 3 years. She's held up the trophy. Hantuchova, match that we're looking forward to for a lot of reasons. Can Venus continue her win streak here in New Haven? Can Hantuchova kind of capitalize since the event in Indian Wells, where she had the big win over Martina Hingis?
Venus Williams, only 22 years old, has a great match record this year. She's upped her schedule, has played more events. After Australia, she went to Europe, then to the Middle East. She's number 2 right now, but she held the number 1 ranking for a few weeks.
She's got some new outfits this week. We saw the red, white, and blue number earlier. I like that one, too. Daniela Hantuchova, one of the harder workers on the tour. She's very dedicated to improving her tennis. And she also is a very good doubles player. She has to play a makeup match from last night that was called because of rain after this match. And if Sanchez Vicario and Hantuchova win, they actually could make them play their semifinals tonight as well.
Well, I think part of the reason she's been playing so well in singles has been because of the doubles. She's really had to practice her serve and volley, which she'll mix in there every once in a while. Her returns are huge in doubles, and that'll help her tonight against Venus Williams.
Well, Daniela Hantuchova has played Venus Williams before, and so she knows a little bit about playing her.
I'm really looking forward to play her. I mean, I've got nothing to lose, and I pushed her really a lot in the Australian Open match, and you know, I'm just gonna go for my shots and try to do my best and see what happens.
She's gonna have to execute her shots. Anybody who plays Venus Williams has to really be sharp right away from the very first game. Venus beat her 6-4 in the third at the Australian Open.
You know, it's interesting, Mary Jo, looking at this picture, because Venus, here she is, 3-time champion, former number 1, won 4 majors. She's out ready first. Hantuchova's taking her time from the chair. She's known as a very deliberate player. Between points, she's got to watch it. She's got some warnings this summer for time violations. In fact, one was at match point, and it cost her the match. She was defaulted right then. Venus Williams to start. Well, maybe that little bit of an extra weight at the baseline didn't help Venus. More hair accessories than most players, Venus.
Hantuchova does play very slowly between points, even more so when she's serving. She bounces the ball a lot, really takes her time.
Hantuchova just blasted that second serve.
One of my favorite things about Hantuchova is her attitude. When she goes out there against the top players right from the start, she's aggressive. She looks fearless. And that's so important for a young player.
And Mary Jo, I think it's so important for all of the players right now ranked 3 through 20 is to have the good attitude that you can improve and close the gap and get nearer where the Williams sisters are now.
I think it helped the players that Chandler Rubin was able to beat Serena in LA a couple weeks ago in the quarterfinals. Helps them to believe that, okay, they are vulnerable. They do have off days sometimes.
I'll tell you, it's very important to stick with Venus early in a match. That tends to be where a lot of her unforced errors start. Sometimes she cleans up matches.
One thing I've noticed in the Venus-Williams game that has improved is that even if she does go off for a little while, making mistakes on the forehand or maybe not hitting good second serves, she gets it back much quicker than she used to.
Break point here.
Already 4 mistakes in this game for Venus.
Another one there. 2 double faults in the game, a couple of unforced errors. These two played the first month of the year down under, the first major of the year, Melbourne, on the big court, Rod Laver Arena. And boy, did Venus Williams have a lot of trouble. And in the first week of the Australian Open, Venus had a pretty serious knee tendonitis flare-up.
Venus has never won the Australian Open. And in this match, Hantuchova really showed everybody that she is going to be a big player in the future. She gets upset with herself. She's very driven, Hantuchova, and expects a lot from herself. Venus was very relieved to get through this match.
6-4 in the third. And here, just the first point just over. Love 15. Such a help mentally to know that you've been there at 4-all in the third with someone like Venus Williams.
It's a big miss off the backhand. That's the side that will do the damage. Of course, against Venus, you try always to go for a little bit more. You know she's going to run all your balls down.
Well, that second serve just creeping over the net. Hantuchova had a slow start the other day in her match with Eva Maioli. But you cannot afford a slow start against Venus Williams, so it was an important first break of serve. 30-all.
I saw Hantuchova a couple hours ago when she was getting ready to warm up with her coach, and she was so excited about the occasion. She said she loves playing at night. She wanted to get the match going. She was telling her coach, come on, let's go hit, let's get ready. Very eager. is what I mentioned earlier in the show. Venus Williams coming in. She can add that to her game. She'll be that more intimidating to all the players.
Chance to get the break right back. That's why Venus won those 2 Wimbledon championships in 2000 and 2001. Much improved net play. Speaking of, terrific combination on break point down. Nigel Sears, who's from England, has been looking after Hantuchova, I guess, for about a year now. He's a very experienced coach. Has done a good job guiding her this year. Wow, took that first serve early.
It was a good first serve, too, 103 miles an hour up the tee, but Venus Williams was moving forward.
Yeah, the location wasn't quite on the tee. I mean, you've got to really make her stretch more. That one was coming into her hitting zone a little too much. Second chance to get the break back. Semifinal, starting off with 2 breaks in a row. Venus Williams heads more and more to my favorite list going into the U.S. Open. She played a fantastic match against a very good opponent, Hantuchova.
That's absolutely right, Pam, because Hantuchova really played well. She was not intimidated out there, but Venus Williams really played the big points well when she needed to break serve in the first set. She got the break, and then she just got the confidence when she needed it in the second set.
On break point, she was 4 for 5 in this semifinal. We'll talk to Venus after this.
Look what you have. I wish I had one. Well, take this one. I got 11 more at home. Are you sure your husband won't mind? They're not even his.
The Pilot G2. Smooth gel ink, 12 vibrant colors, a comfortable rubber grip. Think in ink.
Pilot introduces the first erasable gel ink pen. Think in ink.
Is this how you trim your lawn? Or is this your method? Make your life easier with the Weed Thrasher, the revolutionary new system specifically designed for your gas-powered trimmer. The Weed Thrasher's monster cutters trim around rocks, right next to sidewalks, and even up against fences. Ordinary trimmer spools jam and get tangled, and those expensive plastic cutting blades can break and shatter. But Weed Thrasher's monster cutters are so much tougher. They can't tangle, and they last a lot longer. Best of all, installing them is a snap. Extra tall grass? Give it a thrashing. Annoying brush? Give it a thrashing. Now, through this special TV offer, you'll get the Weed Thrasher head and 12 tough monster cutters for only $19.99. We'll even give you a lifetime supply of monster cutters free. So order your Weed Thrasher now.
To order your Weed Thrasher, call 1-800-391-1771. That's 1-800-391-1771. Or send a check or money order to the address listed.
A beautiful night to play a semifinal match in New Haven, Connecticut at the Pilot Pen. Venus Williams, who's trying to win this championship 4 times in a row, played a fantastic match, just defeating Hantuchova, and she joins us courtside. Venus seemed to do everything very well in that match. Is there anything you're not happy with?
Believe it or not, I thought that I was a little bit inconsistent. And I thought I was rushing and sometimes hitting the ball a little too hard, but, you know, those were my complaints against myself.
Venus, you actually had more winners than unforced errors. You really kept them under control.
Really?
Yes, but I want to know, you don't play usually the week before a major, but you love coming here to New Haven, playing the Pilot Pen, and it's always worked out well for you at the U.S. Open.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you like to play so many matches this week?
Really, just because I love the city. I love this tournament. The Pilot Pen is great. And Worcester, she always gets me back. We've been friends for a long time, the tournament director. I just love being here.
Now, do you ever want to sneak into a class at Yale University and hear a lecture?
I am not ready. You know, I'm not really the liberal arts kind of girl.
Hey, what about playing Lindsay in the finals? Obviously a familiar opponent, but an opponent who's been off the tour for a lot of this year.
Yeah, that's for sure. And it's been such a great story seeing her come back. I wish I could be just like her. She's come back in 2 semifinals, and this is her second final in just 4 tournaments. So I know I have to be ready when I play her.
Well, the U.S. Open just a couple days away, Venus. Anything else left for you to fine-tune in your game?
I just want to be my best, I guess, and I am really not guaranteed anything except a first round at the U.S. Open, so my plan is to get past that.
By the way, how's Serena's knee? Everything all right there?
You know, we talk, but we don't really talk about the injuries.
Okay.
We talk about the movies and all kinds of other things. I forget to ask.
All right. Well, Venus, congratulations. You played a really clean, nice match.
Thank you.
All right. Good luck in the final.
Thanks.
Venus Williams through with some big shots, 6-3, 6-3. She was very impressive once again in New Haven.
How you doing, pal?